Okay, a very warm welcome to another episode of Fauza's Diary. If you are looking for something little and yet inspiring, then you have stumbled upon the right show. That's the beauty about my diaries. They inspire us, they encourage us, but also they make us think. Joining me today on this conversation is my sister friend, Petra Ndembele, all the way from the UK, but she has a history. Born in Angola, lived in Macau, got married in UK, and now she calls United Arab Emirates, Dubai, her home. That is quite a journey. She's joining me today to have a conversation on health and how can we navigate this new era of living and staying healthy without really jeopardizing our health. This is a conversation that you don't want to miss. So I invite you to take a cup of coffee and sit down with us and let's enjoy. Welcome, Petra. Thank you so much for joining me on this conversation today.
Hello, hi everybody. Hi, Fauza.
Hello,
Thank
Petra.
you for inviting me to be here.
You're welcome, darling. You're welcome. So Petra, she's a health coach, working with women to support their wellness goals and also to help them create sustainable health habits. I think there is so much we can learn today. So Petra, I know you are also a mother, like I said, you are a wife, a mom, and you changed careers, Tell me a bit about, that. What made you, to shift careers to become a nutritionist to help people make health decisions about their eating habits? What triggered this decision?
Fauza, what happened was I was working in the hospitality industry in the UK. Then I started to work in schools in Dubai. I was a school secretary in Dubai and I did that for a few years. And when I became a mom, I saw that a lot of my daughter's friends, I started to notice what the kids were eating and I started looking at a lot of the lunch boxes. So I've noticed that a lot of the kids were eating a lot of processed foods and not enough fruits and vegetables. And I've always been very interested in nutrition because I grew up with parents that have very holistic views. I grew up eating granola and yogurt in the morning, having fruit smoothies in the morning. So my parents were very health conscious. Both my parents are very active. My dad had always done yoga since I was born, and my mom's always run and swim. So they're very active and they eat very healthy. So I've always grew up eating very healthy, but I've only realized that how bad people were eating until from the moment I became a mother. So I used to give advice to a few friends of mine. And then one time my friend said to me, I really need your help because I don't know how to start. I really don't know how to, eating this way for 35 years, my parents have never taught me these things and I never knew these things. So how can I help my children? So then I started to think, okay, perhaps I should do this because I always like giving advice and I always like talking about nutrition. Then I actually came across this health coach. I didn't want to go back to school and study for 3 years to be a nutritionist. So then I found out you can actually be a health coach by studying 1 year. And I did my online studies with the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. So I said, okay, this is an option. And I remembered a few years ago, I had a health check for work. And my doctor looked at my results and said, I have never seen, at that time, I didn't know what actually they meant. And she said, your markers are the best I've ever seen in Dubai in terms of like the good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, all your vitamins and minerals. And she asked me, what kind of diet? Are you in a very restrictive diet or are you doing something really special for the last few years? And I said, no, I've just been eating healthy since I was a child. And that's why you can see. So there's proof there that if you eat well, then your body will be happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, you will see it in your body, inside your body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I decided to become a health coach.
Wow. But I think that that's a good why. You know, I always talk of why. Why do we do what we do? I think that's a very good reason. That's a very good why that, you know, you and it's also because, you know, when you became a mom, isn't that motherhood changes us sometimes? You know, you start
Oh
looking
yeah,
at things
definitely,
differently. That's very
definitely.
impressive. Do you think that could have a positive or negative impact? You know, looking at what's happening now with COVID. I mean, I just came out of a COVID battle, and you know, as you know, Petra, there is no medication for COVID, isn't it? And the only thing they kept on saying, you know, take your vitamins and eat healthy, drink a lot, you know, eat a lot of fruits. So, do you think then the lifestyle that we live, you know, I mean, everybody thinks differently on these things, but do you think the way we live has positive and negative impact in our lives, in our diet, in our bodies?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. So what we put in our bodies actually can have a positive or negative impact.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as you can see, research during COVID, there were
Mm-hmm.
two things that came up. One is that obesity can actually increase your risk of becoming seriously ill with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And the other research they did in Dubai, they found that the people that had diabetes were actually more prone to death.
Mm-hmm.
And Dubai has a lot of diabetes, the obesity and diabetes
Mm.
going on in Dubai. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not just in Dubai, sorry, in the UAE,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
prominent.
yeah.
Yes. So it's something that we really need to look exactly what are we actually feeding our bodies. And again, we live in an era where a lot of us are eating processed foods, foods that are coming from the factory and not from the ground.
Yeah, I
And
know.
what I always talk to the kids, you know, I do some workshops for kids and I say, okay, I give them examples. Let's say, like, look at this basket of apples and look at this apple pie. What would you rather eat? And 90% of the time they'll go apple pie.
Yeah, me
And
too,
I was
Petra. Yes,
and I
please.
said, so I really want to create to be able to have a generation. This is really my passion. I want us to have a generation of whole food lovers, to love the food as the natural foods.
Mm.
So to want those apples rather than the apple pie that you can buy in the shops that have flour, that has sugar, that has all the additives and preservatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, another example I give them, you know, would you rather have yogurt with some blueberries and nuts on top,
Mm-hmm.
or a blueberry muffin from Starbucks or, you know, another coffee shop? And they were like, oh, we actually like the blueberry muffin. So again, another option, I'm saying the yogurt is a much better option. You know, natural yogurt with blueberries and some nuts and seeds. So more food. Of course, the yogurt is minimal processed, but again, more food from the ground
Mm-hmm.
rather than the blueberry muffin. And this is why parents are stuck, because now the kids love the processed foods. And of course, the people that are making all these foods, they make it to be super, super tasty, super tasty.
I don't know what
And
they
of
add, Petra. I think they add some things there because if you're not careful, it can be an addiction, isn't it?
Correct. And we're seeing a lot of addiction. I've seen a lot of kids eating, like, you know, lots of Cocoa Pops and those sugary cereals in the morning. And a lot of kids actually eating cakes in the morning as well. The
Mm.
spike of sugar is just, yeah, eggs, cakes, and taking crisps, eating crisps on a daily basis. And, you know, having lots of chicken nuggets. I'm always like, I'm an enemy of processed chicken nuggets. I make my own chicken nuggets at home.
Mm.
And, you know, I see a lot of, like, okay, chicken nuggets and then a little carrot or Florida carrot when it's supposed to be actually almost half and half of your
Yeah,
plate,
yeah,
vegetables, and then the rest, right? And now
right.
we actually see just a little bit and then, and this is why the reason how the way we're eating, um, obesity has increased a lot, especially in places that, in America, in the Western world, obesity has increased. Also, the grains that we eat in these days, they can be modified, genetically modified as well. So,
Really?
yes,
And that's
and
my
they're not the
snacking
same.
food.
Yeah, so it's not the same type of wheat that was produced like 100 years ago. So they make some modification. So we're eating a lot of things that then we starting to have autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease we have a lot. I have a lot of clients with all kinds of autoimmune diseases because our body is not meant to eat those things.
Okay.
So that is what I always tell people. We have to look after our bodies. Again, not just about food. There's other very important things. And the other important things is you need to move. You need to physical activity. It's very important. And your mental health, your relationships, your spirituality, your career. So I just don't touch about the food, but also talk about those other aspects that are very, very important for you to have a healthy life, a balanced life.
Yeah, because it's one body with different branches, isn't it? And
Correct.
whatever you put in, it impacts the other. I like that, but I also like, I was just listening when you were talking, when you talked about the issue of obesity and diabetic, because I remember when I got my COVID results, the first thing the doctor from Dubai Health Authority asked me, do you have other health diseases? And I was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, I'm sickly. And he said, no, that's hereditable. Are you diabetic? Are you obese? Are you? And then I think he asked me about another one. I can't even remember. And I said, but why? Why does that has to do with COVID? And he said, because if you are diabetic or if you obese, then we won't actually allow you to isolate yourself alone from home, and get the care when, on, 24/7, but we would prefer you to go in one of our centers. I was like, oh, no, 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 I don't have any of that. Please, let me tell.
Praise God. Yes.
Yeah, can you imagine? But yeah, you're right. That's the first thing they asked me. So thank you for talking about that and touching about, these issues, because I think life has changed and we need really to be intentional of how we are living now. I'm telling you, since I came out of isolation, I am a new creation. I'm telling you, I am very mindful of what I do, what I put in my mouth, because I'm aware now that what I eat has impact also on my body.
Yes.
So
Very much.
that's very interesting. But
And once you start doing it as a habit, you will do it for the rest of your life. And this is what I always tell my clients. Sometimes they come to me and they say, I want to lose 10 kilos and feel better. And I was just like, okay, it might not happen in 3-4 months. It might happen in 1 year, in 2 years. But this will be sustainable for the rest of your life. Once you lose the weight, you will not put it back because you have those healthy habits for the rest of your life.
Okay.
And this is why a lot of my clients like, oh, can I go on keto? Can I do this diet? And I was like, I don't believe in diets. We shouldn't. This is the problem when you go diet. You diet, you lose the weight quickly, and you use small portions, and you hardly eat any carbs, and you can't not eat like that for the rest of your life. And once you start eating differently, you will put on the weight very quickly.
Okay.
And then this is what we call yo-yo dieting. I help a lot of women with that have been with yo-yo dieting.
I like that.
For 15 years, they have diet for a year and a bit, they lost the weight. Another year they put on the weight. Then another year they lost weight. And I explain to them, we're not going to go for a diet.
Okay.
We're going to go for healthy habits.
Okay.
So we are going to go from not eating that, cheese baguette every morning.
I know. So yummy.
Not having that big plate of pasta with that small carrot. Okay, we are going for a lot of natural whole foods. Your lovely, I love my, yogurts in the morning, my scrambled eggs with spinach and sourdough bread. So things like that, things that are good for your body. Hydrate, have some ginger tea, have some water, lots of water with ginger and lemon. Things that are really good for your body. And then have plenty of fruits and vegetables. And we have so many of them. Why would you just have cucumber and tomatoes when there's hundreds of other vegetables,
That's right.
Kale and arugula and so many other, bok choy, there's so many. So then we go through that, all the vegetables that you can eat, experimenting with different foods, I work with clients that kids perhaps never tried certain vegetables or never tried to eat, I don't like egg. And then I said, perhaps you were doing, this type of egg. Perhaps you can do it differently. Therefore, then we work together.
Okay.
We work together. And then you start seeing the differences. You start losing some weight. You start seeing that you actually have more energy. Just by having a whole foods diet and actually, hydrating and sleeping well, you can actually feel so much more energetic as well. I wake up most mornings feeling like I can go for a 10K run. I feel super energetic just because what I put in my body.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's empowering. How would you define a good eating habit and a bad eating habits? Is there any?
Yes, I mean, we're all different. There's something called bio-individuality. We all have different needs. Someone that is an athlete and does, 10 hours of exercise a day or training a day, it's going to be different from a mom staying at home and not moving so much. So we're all very different. So you can't just look at this specific and this is how you have to eat. But if we are generalizing now, if I'm to generalize, I would say a diet that is whole foods, real food, lean meats as well, really good quality meats, and plenty of fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts, and healthy fats, 25% to 35% of our energy that we need, daily energy, should come from fat. So healthy fats, your avocados, your mackerel, your sardines, the nuts and the seeds have lots of good fat, not the trans fat from a lot of the baked goods, a lot of the fried chicken,
Those are the yummy ones, Petra.
So a diet in natural foods. Again, cut the sugar. Really, sugar is really bad for us.
No, that's my weakness. Let me confess. I will repent if I need to, okay? Now, that's my issue. Sugar. I know now I'm listening to you, you wouldn't taste my tea because it's very sweet. But you won't see me in the cake section. Hardly in the cake section. Yes.
So what would you do? So you like sugar and
In
you like
my
it
tea.
sugar added in your tea.
Yes.
But no cakes, Okay. I do have clients that they said, I have to eat my piece of cake every day. So this is what I say. Why don't you bake a healthy option cake? Perhaps a cake that is not made out of white flour, a cake that's made with oat flour, with almond flour, a cake with some maple syrup or monk fruit. Monk fruit is something that we use for sugar as well. Coconut sugar, much healthy option. So, go for those options. So again, cut the sugar, cut the refined grains, like the rice, white rice, the pasta, white pastas. Go more for buckwheat, brown rice, quinoa, still cut oats, foods like that.
Okay.
Oh, I love my sweet potatoes. It's a staple in my house. Hair fryer with nothing on it. Love it. So, and plenty of fruits and vegetables and the nuts and seeds. I have to say it all the time. And no sodas and no sweets. If seldom, sometimes, of course, you can. But once you're used to having that Coca-Cola or ginger ale every day,
it's addictive.
that is a bad habit.
Now, let me tell you something. Since I came out of COVID fight, I realized that I don't like any frizzy drinks. Like before, I would take maybe a Fanta once a day. It's no small glass, not the big one. Like, in America, when you want a cola, they give you the big one. No, small glass. But I don't even like it. Okay, I don't still have taste in my mouth, but I just feel like it tastes. I don't even taste it, and I just don't like it. So maybe COVID was a good thing for me. Hey.
This is what I say. Once you actually, you should start early with your kids. This is what I always tell the moms. Because look at myself. My parents never got just used to, for us, sweets were like Christmas, Easter, and New Year's Eve. That's it. And then we don't really have a sweet tooth because we didn't grow up eating sweets. So, but once you give your kid, a chocolate a day or some gummy bears, they are going to feel like they need more and more. And they're going to have this sweet taste. The more you eat it, the more you would want to eat.
That's
and
right.
This is what you can replace. You can do some lovely energy balls for your snack, That's just oats. You can put some peanut butter there. You can put some dates. That's still sweet. It's not going to be the sweet of perhaps, that Kit Kat or, that muffin that they get from the shops, but it's still going to be sweet. So really always looking for how can we change and adapt the things that we like? And then how can we actually change those? Okay, you like cake?
Okay.
Let's see, how can we make yourself a nice cake, but with better ingredients, healthy ingredients?
Okay. Wow. Moms, are you hearing that? Let's switch alternative ways of living and, having those nice things, but in a healthy way. Wow, thank you for that, Petra. But I'm also curious to hear, COVID, it has really given us some new lessons, 2020, nobody saw this coming. We still don't know where it's going. God knows.
Right.
But I'm curious to hear from you. How has this COVID situation impacted your business? And what is the strategy that you have put in place?
Okay, what happened before COVID, the schools closed. I was due to do 5 workshops from April to June in schools across Dubai. And of course, schools closed, therefore no more workshops. And all the other workshops in any other centers, they were all canceled. So that was it. So workshops were canceled automatically when COVID came.
Yeah.
So, but I decided to turn around. I said, okay, since I'm not going to do this and I'm having this free time, I'm going to give some free webinars to companies and to church groups, whoever wants. So I gave 5 webinars to companies and communities around the world. I did one for Thailand, in a community in Thailand, and also for my church group here in Dubai. And so I did some webinars with them about creating healthy habits because we had all this extra time. And with the clients that I had, we did through Zoom. But I have to say, April was a very tough month. And some of my clients will say, we want to hold on for a month and see how things are, get adjusted to the home learning. So yes, a lot of people put a hold on things. There was a lot of people that have lost jobs. Yeah. So again, I know that, if I want to get a health coach or a life coach, that is not a basic need. Your basic need is to put, food on your table.
Yeah, that's right.
Paying your rent. So, if you have lost your job or if your salary was decreased, of course, the first thing you're going to do is, look at your costs, and you're not going to get a health coach to help you. So there's a need for people to change, and they want to change the healthy habits. But perhaps at the moment they're holding off and say, right now, I really can't afford to pay for a health coach. So people are kind of like, perhaps in a few more months, let's see how things go. But I'm really blessed to have been able to help people through the webinars, and also, you know, whoever comes to me with questions, I'm always there to answer them. So I'm always there to answer any questions and give advice as well. So, but what I say to people that would like to have a health coach, you need at least 3 to 5 months to have a health. It's not immediate that things happen. So you need a person to support you, to guide you, to be there to hold your hand, all the steps, you know? And initially we'll look at the food, but we also look what something that we called primary food. We call food that we take as secondary food, but primary food, which is something that it's super, super important. Relationships. You know, the relationships that you have in your life really, really affect the quality of your life.
You mean, Petra, you mean the relationship that we have with other people, or with
other people? With other people. A health coach doesn't help just...
So what's primary relationship? Please tell us more.
Okay. So in integrative nutrition, we have primary food and secondary food. Secondary food is the food that we take in our bodies. That's what we call secondary food.
Okay.
Yes. Primary food, which is even more important, are 4 things. It's relationships, physical activity, career, and spirituality. If those things are out of balance, I'll give you an example that my mentor gave me one time, and he said, you know, I was giving advice about, you know, my client, how to eat healthy, you know, to eat more vegetables. And then one day she came with a black eye, and I realized that she was in a toxic marriage.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. So you can eat all the broccoli in the world, all the brown rice, but if you are in that kind of environment, you're never going to have a healthy, balanced life. So these are the things that we also look at. I'll give you another example of one of my clients that, you know, wanted to change habits, but realized that the joy in her life was very extremely low, because she was again also living in a relationship that was extremely, extremely difficult, with the husband dealing with depression and anxiety, and that was affecting the whole family. So we also have to look at ways to cope. You cannot change, you know, you don't perhaps not going to change your husband with your anxiety, but you know,
and Jesus, help us here.
But you can look for ways that you can actually deal with it. Do you understand? So we just don't look at food, what you put in your mouth, but we also look at other things, what we call, you know, the relationships, the physical activity, because we need to move. Our bodies were made to move. We need to move our bodies on a daily basis. We're not meant to just stay sitting, you know, all day. A career, you know, what you enjoy. When I say career, I'm not saying you have to be a dentist to be happy, but what really you enjoy. You should be doing something that you love. And sometimes that's not possible. But how can we to manage that? And again, spirituality, you know, whatever religion you are, you must practice your religion. You should know that there's a higher being. I'm a believer, I'm a Christian. So for me, I need to practice, I need to pray, I need to read my Bible.
That's right.
So, and that's very important for me, and I have to start my day like that, and it's extremely important. So all these things, health coaches help a person with all these aspects. That's what we call primary food.
Primary food. Now, you have taught me something that I had never knew for the last 30 plus years of my life. Heading to the 4th floor, but I didn't. Listen, I didn't know that your primary food is your relationship, your career, your physical, and your spirituality. I mean, spirituality, I know, but
Mhm.
it's something that I just knew that I cannot, you know, I need to have that relationship with, with my God.
Mm.
Otherwise, when things start going scrambling, where do you lean on? So I always, for my spiritually, that's okay. But I'm really surprised with the other three. Huh.
Yes,
And you
they
call
do.
that primary. So primary means secondary. Is it? No, that's
Oh,
primary, meaning it's the
primary,
most important, isn't it?
most important. Yes,
I'm really,
primary.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, that's I'm telling you, like I had no idea. Thank God we are doing this, Petra. And I don't think I'm the only one. I'm sure even the audience, they're gonna be like, okay. But you are right, I think. You can eat well, like you said, but if you are in abusive homes, then I don't think it will have more impact because of the stress, the pressure, the depression, or all those things, isn't it?
Mhm.
So now I think, when I think now, I think it makes a lot of sense. Wow. Thank you for that. So so now take me back a bit on the secondary. So what's the secondary food
The secondary food is food that we take in, and what does
okay.
food does to our body. And I always say, give your body foods that make it sing. And I always tell my daughter, since she was, 4 or 5, your body, the way we eat, whatever we put in our food, they will
Mm-hmm.
be having a party. If we're eating junk, they will be all depressed and sad and gloomy. If you're eating the fruits and the veg and all the good things that, the goodness, the foods that have the vitamins and the minerals for our
Mm-hmm.
bodies to strive, they will be having a party. So she understands that, from an early age. So she
Wow.
knows that, you know,
Wow.
that yes, she will have that sweet time to time, but is
Mm-hmm.
not part of a
Wow.
daily or daily habit.
I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for this new knowledge. I'm really, really thankful. I had no idea. Spirituality, yes, for sure. But the other, I didn't really had a clue. That's why
Yes.
you are in this, isn't it? We all are blessed in different ways, I think. And when I listen to you, I marvel hearing and looking at what God has created us for different purposes here on earth. It's amazing. It's beautiful.
It
How
is.
would
It
you
is.
advise people to eat and live a healthy lifestyle? What would be your advice? I know you've shared quite a lot, but what will be like your takeaway?
Okay. What my first thing is, people sometimes have too many things on their list. Okay. I need to eat healthy. I need to do this. I need to do that. So they have a long list, like in January, end of December, they start with their 10, 15,
New Year
and then
resolution.
like, and then 2 or 3 get done by February, and then they just forget about the list. So my tip here, it's baby steps. Okay.
Mm,
So every month, think about 3 things that you'd like to change.
mm,
Okay. And then stick with those things, because it takes about 20 to 30 days for you to form a habit.
mm,
Okay. So let's say you say, okay, Fauza says, in November, I need to eat 50% of my plate needs to be
mm,
vegetables,
mm,
at least 5 times a week.
mm,
I would like to drink a liter of water, and I'm going to be cycling. I'm going to join that spinning class, and I'm going to pay for it
mm.
on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, let's say. And that's it. Okay.
Okay. So
And then
this person is actually writing it down, but also not just
writing it
writing,
down
taking action, acting on
and
it.
acting on it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you, so giving you an example. So yourself, let's say, okay, I want to create these new healthy habits.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 1st of November, or actually the 30th of October, you write, okay, 50% of my plate, at least 5 times a week, needs to be vegetables, green
Mm-hmm.
vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
let's say. Second, I would like to drink a liter of water.
Mm-hmm.
And third, I'm joining the spinning class 3 times a week.
Okay.
3 things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not 15 things, not 3 things.
Oh, human
And now,
beings, we are interesting. Thank you for
so
touching in that.
then you do those things every day for that month of November.
Okay. 3
Then in
things.
December, 3 things, not more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can do other things, continue doing the good things that you were doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But these are things that you were not doing. You were not eating your green vegetables on a daily basis. You were not drinking 1 liter of water,
Mm-hmm.
and you were not exercising. So you're going for that spinning class because your friend told you it's amazing, and I'm going to try it with her. 3 things.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not like a list. It can't be like, oh, I need to start eating healthy. Oh, now I'm going to start eating lean meats. Then I'm going to be eating green vegetables. Oh, and then I'm going to be joining that class. Oh, and then I'm going to be doing this. And then I'm going to be eating. It's just too confusing, right? I give an example of a client, lady, same age as us. She used to drink 2 glasses of milk every morning,
Mm-hmm.
not like water. 2 glasses of milk every morning our age is not a good thing, you know.
Yeah.
Right in the morning. So I said, let's substitute that with water instead. So gave her this recommendation was number 1.
Mm.
Oh, fruits would be something later in the evening or sometimes forgotten. Okay, let's have an apple, you know. And I told her that I loved papaya, and she said, oh, I never tried papaya. Then she tried it and she loved it. So she was having papaya. So I said, okay, let's have one fruit as well after those 2 glasses of water. And 3 times a week, let's go for a 10-minute walk.
Okay.
You know, you haven't exercised for 15 years, a 10-minute walk, you know. Even if you have to do 2 minutes, it's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
It's better than nothing. Okay?
Absolutely.
This is what I'm saying. You have to start. I give you an example of my very good friend Geriato that have had difficulties in her life, and throughout from November to this May, she has done amazing thing. She started exercising. She would walk from her car to work, and that's it. Now she's doing like 4 to 10 miles a day. She has dropped 15 kilos. She is feeling so much more energetic. And she actually now is making plans to become a plant-based, you know, more plant-based. Amazing. And this is a person that haven't exercised for years and has gone through a lot of difficulties and is feeling so much more energetic. So 3 things. So I'll say do those 3 things, choose 3 things every month to become a habit for the rest of your life.
Wow. Thank you so much, Petra. Thank you. I've learned a lot. And I think even the audience, the people are watching, I think they are also being inspired. I mean, I had like aha moment, especially on the primary food. I had no clue. Oh, wow. New revelation. That's why we are learning every day. But okay, what will be, tell us a bit about the portion before we close. Our time is up. Tell us about the portion. Do you have to weigh that, to measure, or you just be conscious about it?
No. There will be portion control, but no, we don't do scales here. We don't do calorie counting. That's too confusing. And we go through what we call the plate.
Okay.
So there's a plate, and we look at your plate and exactly what should your plate have. And then there will be protein, good protein, as in one side of your plate. I don't actually have the plate here to show you, but it's something that if the subscribers want, I can actually post that later.
Yes.
Then you will have your healthy grains, your vegetables, your fruit, and your water. and healthy fats. So we do have a food plate, and we go through the food plate, and then we teach, health coaches teach their clients, how can you look through the portions like that. So it's something that we also teach. Don't, again, for moms, for kids, something that I'm always asked a lot, oh, I want my kid to eat more fruits and veg. First thing in the morning, give them two fruits, you know, or 1.5 cups or 2 cups of fruits, depending on the age. Again, it depends if they are 5 or 13.
Yeah.
So, and always pack a healthy lunchbox, you know. I would really avoid putting the crisps and the biscuits on the lunchbox. Try and make it as, you know, healthy as possible. And when they come home and they have lunch and dinner, you know, make sure that that plate does not have that, you know, floret and broccoli, but at least, you know, 30 to 40% of the plate it's full with vegetables.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But yes, so, and water. For us ladies, you know, we should really be drinking at 6 to 8 cups of water. And it's amazing.
What? I'm struggling to get 1.5 liters, Petra.
Yes, definitely. And it does make a huge difference.
Yeah, I noticed too, since COVID has really changed me, honestly, because I wasn't a water person, but now I take 1.5 liters a day, 1.5 liters. So I'm very proud of myself.
Good job.
Thank you. So our time is up. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Petra. Wow, what a knowledge, a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I'm so thankful actually that we've had this conversation, and I'm sure our viewers also, they will want to know more. So what we will do, we'll share your details also below this conversation. And for you viewers, I think Petra has shared a lot. This actually, it's something that many people would have paid for a consultation, but you all got it for free. Don't you love Fauza, darlings? So do me a favor, just click on the subscribe button, and also go follow Petra, because she has a lot of things that she's sharing in her social media platforms, which they are also shared here below. But as we are going to, to end this conversation, I wanted to remind you of the 2 primary food that Petra shared with us today. She said the most important primary food is your physical, your relationship, your career, and your spirituality. I would advise you to actually take a pen and paper, because I like to do that, on your gratitude journal, and write those 4 things, because they are going to inspire you and encourage you as you navigate this new lifestyle. We all need that. And your secondary is, it's the food that we put in our own body. So be very intentional about that, not only for you as adults, but also for our own children. And the other thing she also shared is, don't get overwhelmed, or it's like December, everybody goes write 100 things of New Year's resolution, and then come February, March, they only got half of it done and they get frustrated. This is not about that. She said, focus on 3 things. If it's having more fruits, if it's going for, doing 10 minutes walk, if it's having, more water, let that be your goal. Let that be, your intentional way of, having this healthy lifestyle. Don't get overwhelmed, because if it's an apple, you can just pick an apple and eat as you drive your car, wherever you are, honestly. And the water bottle, let it be with you all the time, so that you don't forget to drink your water. I'm sure you've been inspired as much as I have, and I would encourage you to go follow Petra, share this conversation. You will just never know who might need this inspiration, just like you and I have learned a lot from Petra. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us today. And I will see you soon with another inspiring conversation, just like this one. Stay safe, wash your hands, drink your water, eat your fruits, 10 minutes walk, it won't damage your body. See you soon. Bye for now.